One of the biggest stories in gaming this week is, of course, gaming.youtube.com. And we're here live on the YouTube stage here. I'm Chris Waters from GameSpot and talking with some game developers who also have a really big story this week, the Kickstarter success of Divinity Original Sin II. And joining me on the stage, Sven and Thomas from Larian. You guys, congratulations first off on your game funding within like 12 hours.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks.
Very exciting, no doubt. And as people continue to be drawn to the Kickstarter and sort of see what you guys are taking on here with Divinity Original Sin II, how does it feel to be like launching such an ambitious project?
I would say that it's incredibly exciting, but we're so tired because the campaign has been going so fast that we don't have time to realize what's going on.
You're tired already? I mean, you guys still have a lot of development to go here.
Yeah, well, we had quite a bit of issues in coming over here, and all our hardware broke down. Our Kickstarter page was lost, so we had to scramble to get everything ready in time.
Well, you've got the game playable here on the show floor. Yeah. The Kickstarter is a success, so I'd say you're doing okay.
Yeah, we're happy. I'm not complaining.
All right, so we're gonna actually take a look at the game in action. You guys are gonna load it up, and we're gonna see one of the key features here for Original Sin 2 multiplayer in action.
Yeah, so we're going to be playing actually on the same PC. We're using controllers. So this is a pre-alpha version of the game, of course, since we still have many months of development to go. But we're running it on the Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition engine. So that means that we can already play from the get-go, and it also allows us to explore many new things in the RPG country.
Now, Enhanced Edition is the version of Divinity Original Sin that's currently out now on Steam, is that correct?
No, actually, current version is Original Sin. The Enhanced Edition is coming this October for PS4 and Xbox One.
Okay, so Enhanced Edition is just the console one?
No, it will also come to everybody who has it on PC, gets it for free.
And I interjected too early, sorry.
Yeah, and so this one is going to be coming like end of 2016. Most likely it's actually going to already shift into 2017 with all the stuff that we're adding on top of it as a result of the Kickstarter.
So we've got multiplayer, and let's get into what you guys are trying to do here, because it's not, it is cooperative. Like you're adventuring together, but it's not a simple, we sort of read the same dialogue, we take on the same quests, we are just twice as powerful.
No, absolutely not. So, it takes some time to explain, so let me explain. Thomas, maybe you best join in, so
right.
That way I'm going to shift to split screen mode, so I'm going to let Thomas join in. And so there he is, so he's on the other side of the world. He's controlling my dwarf, and I'm going to assign control of my thief to him also. So he's now controlling a thief and dwarf, and I'm in the meantime being addressed by a dwarf that noticed me arrive here on the beach, and she's asking me, aren't you supposed to be in jail? Because we're escaped prisoners. And it's actually an important thing because this is my main character, the one that I created at character creation, Gwyn Welford. She's a noblewoman. She comes from this island where we crash landed. And so everybody is going to recognize her. But if our friend Thomas is going to talk to somebody, then he's going to get a different dialogue. Because in Original Sin 2, it's all about your origin stories, what your race is, who you are, what you are, how it defines your life, your options in life. And that's the main theme of the game, so I'll show you a couple examples of that.
Yeah, so if you're coming up to a checkpoint, you might want him, the dwarf, to roll up and say, hey, do the talking if you know you're going to get recognized.
Yeah, so that's so let me give you an example of that. So for instance, over here, I have Axeman here, it's a statue. If I click on it, I recognize it. I was afraid of it as a kid. Now, if I'm going to take my elf here, because you can play as multiple races in Original Sin 2, so this is a wood elf. Val, if she's going to talk to the Axeman, then she says she's not from around here, so she says he's pretty impressive. Now with Thomas,
for a human.
For a human. And so if Thomas is going to talk to him, what he says is like, this was a butcher. He killed many dwarves. So we all have different perspectives on the events that are going on in the game, and that creates for quite some interesting moments.
Absolutely, so, and also the compelling urge to cycle through and like really play as all your characters.
It's part of the gameplay actually. Which party member you're going to pick to solve a certain situation is going to have a very big impact on you. And the thing is that you can play with up to 4 players. You can play cooperatively, but you can also play competitively. And it's not only competitively as in PvP, but you also get to play competitively as in a narrative manner. So how that works, I have to show you because that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, when I think of competitive, and I look at a game like Divinity Original Sin 2, I think, oh, well, maybe they're just like competing to who gets the most wolf pelts in a fight against some wolves, and then they go back and like whoever wins gets a better reward.
No, that's not.
But you guys are on a whole different level here in terms of complexity and ambition, and it's fascinating.
All right, so let me show you a very small example of that. So we are greeted by the guards here, and we're not. They have problems with dwarfs on the inside the village. And so he recognizes me. He says, Gwyn, aren't you supposed to be in jail? And so I'm going to lie. I'm going to say that I've been given clemency by Bishop Alexander himself. And so he believes me. And so I can ask for my fellow travelers to be allowed to go into town. Now, I could try a persuasion event on him where I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to say, you know what? They can sort it out themselves. And what happens then is that the guards block the other guys, and I can just dash off inside of the village and go and have fun and see my old friends and relatives and so forth.
So because you got to that conversation, you were able to kind of slam the door a little bit, and now the other people in your party have a different challenge they have to overcome to get to where you're going.
Exactly. So for instance, my elf over here, so she can try to convince him, and you see that she has different dialogue options. The entire dialogue is different because that's who she is, and the game recognizes this is an elf, this is how this guy is going to talk to an elf. And so when you're creating your character, you get these little tags that you see there, like charmer or elf. Elf obviously because of my race, scholar because of who I am, what I picked in character creation. So if she picks the scholar option, I know this is the good option here. He's also going to allow me in. Now the dwarf, however, is going to be a different story. So Thomas is going to try to politely ask to be let in.
Sure.
You already see that he's talking in a very racist manner to Thomas. And so if he says, I have relatives living over here, he says, no, that's not going to work. You are not going in. So Thomas has a little bit of a temper, so he's going to insult him. And so the guard just tells him to dash off, and he's not going to enter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly take control of Thomas's fief for presentation purposes, and then just go to Hudson here. Hudson is my fief. He has a very dark past. And so if he talks to the dwarf over here, he gets a conversation in which he can ask, is there another way into the city? And so this man is not going to tell it to me unless I give him some gold, but I don't have any gold. However, if Thomas goes and talks to him, what Thomas is going to see is that as he goes through the dialogue, that he's going to have the option of actually convincing the guy to tell him, is there another way into the city? And because it's a dwarf-to-dwarf conversation. And so he's going to be able to go in. And so we're going to split up over here. I'm just going to go convince the guard that I can actually, that he allows my fief to enter also. So let me do that. And since it's a racist environment, if I say I'm a human, just like you, he says, okay, that's fine then.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah, you can go in. So let's try out, I have to just...
I can't help but look at this and A, be amazed at the complexity of just this small interaction, but B, think that you guys have like maybe quadrupled your workload in terms of...
More than that, we have more than that, more origin stories. Well, the thing is we're building it on top of the enhanced edition, which is already very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And so it gives us the entire RPG framework to build something really unique on top. And we already had the split screen from the enhanced edition, we already had the cooperative mode. So going from there to put competitive in was like a logical next step because it allows, let me show you a couple of examples. It allows us to do a great many things. All right, so let me take control of Gwyn here. I need to show you one extra thing here. So
meanwhile, Tomas will just be hanging out in a bush over there.
He's trying to get in through the other way, but he has to deal with those acid slugs over there that are bothering him. And he's going to be using a source skill, but I don't think you have a source skill.
I don't think so, no. Did you have a...
No, you'll have to go and get your bloodstones, because I forgot to take him as we're...
I'll go back.
All right. So we have a new set of skills, which are called source skills. And to be able to cast them, you need a source stone. You know what, Thomas? I can actually get you one. Hold on.
Can you?
Yeah, I'm going to kill somebody.
All right, that'd be great.
All right, so there's many ways of getting...
It is cooperative too. Oh, all right.
yeah, so for sure. So this man over here, unfortunately, I'm going to have to kill him so that I can access his source. Come on, where is he? He's going to go in his chair. The man doesn't know what's going to happen.
He's going to jump the man in his chair in
if
the comfort of his own home.
Come here, you. No! I have a hard time seeing because I have a lot of light in my eyes.
Yeah,
okay.
It's very bright.
Yeah. All right, there you go. So that killed him, and what happens is that his ghost is going to appear. Now, Spirit Whispering is a new talent that we have, and I can basically talk to him. And as I talk to him, I can talk to, well, in this case, I can only steal his soul. So if I do that, I take his astral energy, and what I've done now is I charge what's called a bloodstone. Okay. I'm going to send this bloodstone to Mangan the dwarf, because he needs it to survive those acid slugs. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to sort out... there she is. So the problem in this town is, the reason why there's so much insurgency is the mayor has been poisoned, and this was the healer taking care of her. And so I was supposed to go and figure out who it is.
Not anymore.
Well, I mean, but I still would like to know who it is, and so this is a shortcut through a very long quest. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be not very nice, and I'm going to hold on, yeah. I'm going to cast a little bit of fire.
Just a little bit.
And that should be the end of it. And there's another ghost that appears, because it's a mechanic. Anybody that you kill, a spirit will appear, and all these spirits, you can question them, you can talk to them, and so you can actually gain other insight. The only problem I have right now is I'm entering the dark side of the source, and so I'm going to lose a lot of karma, and I'm going to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I was wondering, there's got to be some balance here, otherwise you're just running around harvesting villagers willy-nilly to power your super.
No, there's going to be a very heavy price to pay for what I'm doing. But that's fine, because it's fun to play dark, and so
True.
So I just also stole her source node that I know who she was poisoned by, and so I can go and act on that. How's it going, Thomas? Are you managing?
I'm gonna use one of these new source skills, the meteor shower, actually, to kill all these slugs, because they're a pretty big problem for me, being a small dwarf. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So he's trying to, and so you see those little poison gas clouds that are coming out of there, because these guys bleed poison, connect to the fire, and so it creates a gas cloud.
Looks like you didn't quite get them all, or was
No, he'll
the other
need
one
to-
burn up?
They're all dead, yeah. I need to get over this fire surface though, but I can use my tactical retreat
And, he's gonna
and jump over it. There we go.
Okay, well done. So in the meantime, I'm going to go to my ancestral house and go talk to my brother, who recognizes me, obviously. Now, you need to realize I didn't have to have Gwyn Welford in my party. It could have been somebody else, and then I wouldn't see all of these dialogue options appear. I wouldn't have the angle of being from this town, and that's just going to go for all of the characters, actually. So you have all these origin stories that are in there, and it makes for a very interesting RPG gameplay.
And there are more origin stories that you can have in a single party,
Yeah.
I imagine. So you're not gonna, even though you're probably going to, when you're creating your character and spreading it around.
Well, I mean, we're going to see an example. So if I were to play in single player, the dwarf would be in my party, and then the option that's about to appear wouldn't happen. There's a messenger that just went to Thomas, and he says, "Excuse me, my employer would like to give you a proposal." So as he receives the note, can you read the note, Thomas?
Sure. Let me open my inventory.
All right, let's try that. So what is the note? It's an assassination request against me. So this is an example of one of those competitive quests. So he now has a secret, which I don't know if I would be playing in multiplayer. Obviously, we're playing in split screen, so I see what he has.
Split screen, yeah, you see the opportunity laid ahead of him. And
All right.
He's probably assuring you, no, I would never.
He might not be paying attention thoher, so that's good for me.
He might be absorbed in his own thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
You guys might have rigged up a
very
piece of
immersive.
cardboard in the middle of the screen.
there's a lot of things that you can do to one another this way. I mean, I don't know how much time we have, because otherwise, if I get a few more minutes.
We have a few more minutes.
A few more minutes, then I'll show you something different. Because what I could do was I could have crafted I could have taken a potion, combined it with a red dye, and it would have looked like a healing potion. I could have put it with pickpocketing in his backpack, and then if he would have drunk it, he would have been poisoned.
He would have been poisoned.
But he could have done that to me, of course,
as
also.
a preliminary, hey, I know you got an offer. Let me just help you refuse that offer.
So let me show you a couple of other new things. Thomas, if you can make it to the Lone Wolves, then I'm in the meantime going to demonstrate skill crafting. Now, I apologize that I have to squint like this, but...
Oh, that's fine. And you guys, I think you guys are in totally different places. Well, not totally.
Yeah, we are.
You're in similar region maybe, but like...
there it is.
You're doing totally different things in your cooperative endeavor.
Yeah.
And so you're having this adventure that's
Like an RPG.
playing out so far apart, but you're still in the same world, and you can team up together and like share resources. And you could be playing it rolling together if you had managed that sort of entry to the town a different way. But now you're playing it this way, and both ways are equally viable.
Yeah. So you can seamlessly switch between cooperative and competitive, and that's a lot of fun. So the thing I'm going to do is show you something else that's new. This is skill crafting. So for instance, if I combine let's say a summon spider skill book with a mute skill, so that's this. Can you guess what's going to happen?
If the spider will not be able to talk when you summon it.
Almost. I'm going to get a ninja spider. So it's going to be a stealth spider. So
Spider. That sounds horrifying.
it's actually,
Aren't spiders already ninjas in any
if
way?
you want, yeah. So if I summon it now, it's going to be able to. Let me just do that here. If I summon that ninja spider, it will be able to hide itself and then bite somebody from behind in combat, which is pretty cool.
Or, you know, if a certain dwarf comes up to you with his axe unsheathed and takes a...
Might happen.
All right, Thomas, can you go behind? You don't have the thief, sorry. Let me just give him the thief also. All right. And then I need to see my stairs here. There's so much light. Okay, there you go.
So now the dwarf is just hanging out where the dwarf was, but Thomas is now controlling the thief in the same area that you are.
It's because we're in the same area, so we're switching to... Hold on.
So you switch out of split screen into the same screen.
Yeah, so because we're close to one another, so the camera zooms out, and if we're too far from each other, then what happens is that it goes back to split screen. So this is all present in the enhanced edition, and will be playable for players very soon, actually. And it's a lot of fun to do that. So I want to show you one last thing. It's going to take 1 minute, but it's very cool.
All right, give me something really cool.
You want to see
close
this.
it out.
You want to see this. All right, so what he's going to do now is he's going to get into an ambush by some old friends of him. He has different motivations than me here, because he is actually an assassin. He didn't tell any of us. He has personal motivations to compete, like any character. And he got himself into a fight with old colleagues of him, which I didn't know about. So I can, of course, go and help him. All right, so let's have a look.
You can see that he's engaged in combat, but you're not engaged in combat.
No, that's also new.
Now you are.
What I can do is I can basically decide if I'm going to go into combat or not, or I can actually backstab him. So now we're doing PvP combat, and we're going to be fighting with one another, and then we can make up if we want, just like in all good relationships, and it makes for a lot of fun.
So you guys, if you destroy the other antagonists in the battle, can you call off the fight, or does one of you have to defeat the other, and then the fight ends, and you like...
No, we can always go, so I can just go and make peace for him, so like so, if it's going to be my turn, I can make peace with him. So, where is he? Hold on. Okay, so for instance, all right, I just have to find him back because I had a hard time seeing. All right, there he is. So I can just say make peace, and now we're going to be back on the same side.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah, so it's all very fluid, you join in, and obviously most people will be playing it, if they play it in multiplayer, they'll play it cooperatively from time to time, they'll just like say, hey, this is really interesting for me, I want to do this. Some guys will try to really compete with each other as possible, and then others will obviously play in single player, and then all of that work that we're doing from the competitive and the cooperative translates into a very rich single player experience, because there's so many options on every single situation that you encounter. It's a lot of fun.
So many options indeed. And you guys, I got to commend you for your ambition with this. It looks so exciting. Obviously, a lot of people excited about it on Kickstarter as well. A lot of fans of Original Sin, the GameSpot staff included. Congratulations, you guys. And so you are looking to do some alpha release, some early access stuff in the coming...
Everybody who backs us on Kickstarter gets automatically the alpha and the betas. And that's not going to be this year. That's going to be somewhere next year.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and showing off Divinity Original Sin 2.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, guys. For more on Divinity Original Sin 2 as development continues, go to gaming.youtube.com/GameSpot. Click that little star, follow us, and we'll keep you updated. We'll be back with a discussion of the top 5 games of the year so far in just a minute. Stick with us.